Good morning from beautiful Brisbane, Australia. How are you this morning? Remember to drop by and say g'day or hashtag replay if you're here. And welcome to all our new members of our global family. It's so wonderful to have you joining us and moving along the path of recovery and breaking the generational cycle of trauma that keeps getting handed down, and we're the first generation to begin to break free. It's awesome. Yesterday we talked about dissociation, and I did a new booklet which is free in the Complex Ptsd Conscious Warrior Academy, and it's a free download. Now, I had some feedback about it. So if you download it yesterday, I actually have improved the sheets. So here's what I did. On the daily checklist, I put down what each column should be about and explained it better. My apologies, I didn't do that straight up because I just didn't think. I was just so excited to get it out there to you and to explain how we need to go about identifying it differently, and how to-do lists don't work for us, all right? They just increase the stress. So we turned it around and we said, okay, these are the things that I find really hard to focus on each day. So for me, these are the things that I not intentionally forget to do, but I know when I'm dissociated, and that can, go for days. Well, I'm trying to improve that, okay? Let's face it. It can go for days unchecked because we're so used to operating out of that space. But I want to be well. I want my physical health back. I want to get out and do what I'm here to do in the world, basically. And I can't do that unless I build this awareness into my life of the dissociation. Now, it's really hard to understand until we start having the experiences of it. And even yesterday, after I did this sheet up for me, and I went through, there was a number of things that I experienced. So I did the Facebook Live, I'd done the booklet, and then I was sitting here doing some work that I wanted to do, and all of a sudden I could feel this tightness in my stomach. Now, years ago, before I started any of this, I couldn't even feel anything past the tightness in my throat. So the fact that I could begin to feel that there was a tightness in my stomach's a flippin' miracle. Well, actually, it's not. It's called hard work and dedication to being well. Good morning, girls. It's good to see you here. So what I did was I used that as a cue that dissociation was happening, and I went, what am I going to do? So yesterday I'd already been to gym. I'd already done trauma-informed movement in the morning, and I went, okay, the dissociation's happening. Obviously, my brain has picked up on some stress factor, I know not what at this stage. So what I did was I took a sit, I literally sat back in my chair and I went, right, what am I going to do? And I went, I need to move and I need to change my environment. And so what I did was I did something ever so boring. I went down to the local shops and bought a new fan because we're in the last part of summer here, and look, I'm still dying of heat, okay, but my fan died as well. But what happened was, because I got up and moved my body, now remember our vision takes in 40% of our information, our sensory information. So what happened was, even though I got up and moved and I went outside the home, went to the local shops, I was able to focus on breathing, and I was able to focus on what I needed to do. So I'm there to get a fan. It came out, so I had to pick up a clipboard. I only had green ones. Not happy yet. Where's the girly stuff? Anyhow, I digress. So when I was doing that, because I was in a different environment to when I've been triggered, I actually started to feel good and whole and breathe again. Now, what was important yesterday was still, I had gotten up in the morning. I have a whiteboard in my office here, and I did a whole not a whole, about half a board full of what I wanted to do yesterday. But the important part was this daily checklist. Now, it's really hard for me to find the energy to cook. So checking whether I need to cook each day is something that's really important to me. And I actually managed to cook yesterday, famous veggie and meatloaf. And I actually managed to do the dishes twice. Now, to anybody else, that probably sounds like, oh, wow, so, and what? But for me, it's massive to have a checklist and go, where am I up to? Am I going to manage that today? Am I washing? I got all my washing folded. That's a flipping miracle. And any of us know that when we have dissociation, our memory's not there. So this checklist is helping me remember all the little things that aren't so little that I need to get done each day. Now, I'm aware that somebody who hasn't been through trauma probably thinks, yeah, so, well, you're on the wrong channel, okay? Because these are big things to us, because dissociation makes us lose memory. Laura said, I still need to look into trauma-informed movement. Sadly, the information link isn't working. I don't know why. I'll put another link down to the group down below when I finish the live, Laura, because it really is important. I've had some people say the link doesn't work, yet I get it straight from Facebook, so we'll have another go. If it still doesn't work, let me know. That's really odd. But the trauma-informed movement, and I'm going to put more posts in the group today. It's not a group where we're in there socialising. We use the complex PTSD group for that. But it's full of information about why we need to do this. Now, if you're doing the trauma-informed movement, and I've had this conversation in our conversation group, in the complex PTSD group, it's not about keeping up with the video. It is not. I use the video because I need something extra to help me know for movement. Which movement should I be doing? So I don't have to think about the movement. I'm just focusing on my breathing. And that's all we need to do. We don't need to keep up with the video. We don't need to, compare or anything. And even the HasFit people say, make it your own. I did today. Now today, getting back to the dissociation, today I went to gym and ended up dissociating again because I was sitting there doing my gym and I woke up feeling fantastic this morning. Can I just say, yay? And I went to gym and I thought, I'm going to come home and do the trauma-informed movement. And as I'm sitting there, like there's this whole row of bikes. Now, we all know I just go to gym to sit on a bike and retrain my mind that I'm safe to breathe, okay? And getting that feeling of that breath going through my body. But here's what happened. There's a whole row of bikes and a male person came and sat next to me and it really does do my head in that there's a whole row of bikes but you have to come and sit next to me. And it triggers me internally. And as I'm sitting there, I went, okay, what am I feeling? And I thought, I feel really unsafe. And I went, okay, if I feel unsafe, what can I do? And I thought, I have to breathe, obviously, but I could feel internally that I was afraid. Now, it takes a lot for us to even feel that fear that's living inside of us, all right? It takes a lot of courage to do that. So if you get to the stage where you can feel the fear, give yourself a big pat on the back, because it's taken me a very long time to even know that that fear was there, or to put language around that fear. So I'm sitting there and I'm going, I am so afraid and I just don't know what to do. I'm frozen. I went, okay, this is going to trigger internally the whole freeze and fawn response. Whichever one, it's going to trigger it. I know it is. So then what I did was I was listening to him, and unfortunately this guy, I've never seen him before, gets on a bike, and it sounds like, this sounds really awful. It sounds like he's just there, making huffing and puffing sounds. and it triggered me because they sounded like he's being intimate on a bike. It sounds awful, I know, and I don't say that with disrespect, but that's how much it was triggering me. It's like, why couldn't you go and do this somewhere else? So then I looked up and I glanced at his face and I thought, oh, well, you've got a really kind face. And then I went, you know what? This isn't helping me be real and raw and honest with what's happening internally for me. And I went, okay, his energy is telling me that I'm not safe. Now, when I say I'm not safe, it means that I'm frozen and I can't do or can't think of the one next thing to do. All right? Now, so what I did was I went, okay, I'm safe to breathe, and I kept making sure I was breathing. And I went, all right, I need to honour the fact that I feel afraid. And so instead of doing 30 minutes, I did 20 minutes and I got off. I went, I'm going home because this has triggered all the fear from sexual abuse. Now, sexual abuse, all right, if we're not careful, the wiring that we've got from sexual abuse can put us into situations where we end up as adults in a situation where we can be raped as adults through no fault of our own and through no fault of the person who's with us, except that they didn't check. They just assume. And I've had this happen because we freeze. And I don't ever want to be in a situation where I freeze up again and can't say no. So I came home and I went, right, I need to be able to feel what's happening underneath the fear. All right. So I went, right, I'm going to do trauma-informed movement. I'm going to breathe. Now, what you find is when you're triggered and you're doing trauma-informed movement is it's hard to move your body, all right? Your body wants to either shut down internally or run away or whatever your trigger trauma response is. Mine is it wants to shut down. So I just moved very slowly, but I kept affirming I am safe to breathe, I am safe to feel the fear. And then underneath the fear, I went, there's anger. And I went, I am safe to feel this anger. And I went, if I'm safe to feel this anger, then what do I need if this happens again? And I went, oh my goodness, I'm safe to get up and move. And it was like a blinding moment that to anyone else would make sense. But when we've got all the fear in us from childhood where we couldn't move, it makes complete sense that we have to get to the stage where we can feel it to release it. But also, the minute I recognised it was the minute I went, I know what I'm going to do next time, because it's happened before. Next time somebody invades my personal space at gym, I'm not going to leave gym. I'm going to get up and I'm going to go and use a different machine. And even if it means getting up and using a walking machine for 10 minutes and then coming back to my bike. And so what I did was plan that out in my mind. I went, right, 10 minutes on my bike, I'm going to get up 10 minutes on a walking machine, and, you know, there's lots of other machines. And because I was able to process that, I wasn't highly emotional, because I'm doing the trauma-informed movement and I'm forcing my whole brain to connect despite being triggered, okay? Sorry, Laura, just check the trauma-informed movement link for the info about this. Okay, the trauma-informed movement link will be down below. Any ideas when there isn't much needed in the day to add to the checklist? Sometimes I have no work needed to accomplish, which seeks me into myself, losing big parts of my day. Yes, if you haven't got a lot in your day, there are things that you can do to have more in your day. First of all, there's lots of online courses you can do for free these days. Udemy, I think it's called Udemy. They do lots of free courses. Enrich your mind, learn some more, and you may take yourself down a whole new path of discovery and things that you can eventually earn an income for. You can do marketing courses and, create your own business at home, setting up, doing marketing for small businesses in your local area, if that sort of thing works for you. If plan out an activity to get out in your day as well. So Facebook has an actual section, just let me check what it's called because I keep forgetting. If you go back to your home page on Facebook and look down the left hand side, it has a tab called events. Now when you click on that events, it actually brings up local events in your area. Now it's okay when you're working through dissociation that if you say, right, I'm going to go out to this event, and you don't make it, because you can't beat yourself up. What you do is say, okay, I didn't make it today, but I'm going to plan another event and I'm going to have a go at getting to it. Go out and learn. Go out and enjoy yourself. Go out and get involved. Also, there's another app online called Meetups, and it has gazillions of groups around the world that you can meet up with people who have the same interests as you. Go do it. And I've had feedback from people in group who've used Meetups, and they've actually met great groups of people who have the same interests as them. And if you need an interest, go and check out a group, see if you're interested in it. And I actually know a lady who moved to a country town, and she did this and got involved with a group of quilters. So you can get out and you can teach yourself, despite the dissociation, you can get out and start building your new life. For me, now this is just for me, okay? I went to a community church, and in that community church they have life groups. So even when I couldn't talk, I'd go to the life group and I'd sit there and listen to people. It doesn't hurt to go somewhere and just listen. And you build community around you, and it is quite okay to take your time making friends, all right? I absolutely recommend it, because then you find out over time what people are like, whether they're genuine, whether they have integrity, whether they understand that relationships are mutual, not just one-sided, and so much more, okay? Take your time. I have the valued friendships I have now because I took a lot of time before I let people into my life that close, all right? And it's so, so important for us, because you don't want to be around people who are always going to trigger you. Yes, we have to learn how to manage our triggers, but if someone's insensitive, then it's pointless, because we are highly sensitive hanging around people that are constantly triggering us. We want to hang around people where we can speak our truth as well. Like for me, I went to church one day and I was triggered. And, when you get triggered, it's from the unconscious. And I'm sitting there crying, and one guy came up to me and he got tissues and he said, comforted me, and what a lovely person to do that. And this is a sort of community that you want to be around. So whether church is your thing, a mosque is your thing, any of the other varieties are your thing, what you want to know is at the core of it, are these people community minded? All right, so not self-serving. Are these people of a belief that the community is best served with love? Okay, and in our church, everyone matters. It's in big writings across the wall, everyone matters. And that's what you want to know, because it drives a greater sense of love too. That we're free to love, we're free to get in and do life together, warts and all, mess and all, and it's really, really good. Okay, so I hope that's lots of information. Remember, your daily checklist is not about whether you get it done or not. It's to help us know when we're dissociating because we haven't been able to recognise that we haven't thought about what we need to get done, the essential stuff, all right? So I want you to get your daily checklist, and if you're like me, I have a weekly one as well. So you get your weekly checklist, all right? Just everyday things that you know that your memory impedes or being triggered impedes, and then you're going to be able to see when you are being triggered, and then we can learn to manage it a lot better. As I said to the ladies, I will put the link for trauma-informed movement down. I am putting movement. I am putting more information into the group about it today so that we're really clear about what we're doing. And I am putting out a trauma-informed movement book soonish, amongst everything, so that you can understand at a deeper level what's happening at a brain level, what we need, why we need not just the trauma-informed movement, but why we need to do all of these things to help our brain turn it around and operate as a whole brain instead of having to operate out of part of our brain. I know that all sounds a bit dodgy sometimes. It's like, brain? Yeah, where is it? I'm sure I've got one. Okay, I'll put all the links down below. Thanks for joining in, girls. And remember, above and beyond everything else, you are loved. And I will see you tomorrow morning because we're going to have a chat about, just spring up, if we were unloved as a child, the 5 things that we need as an adult. Okay? I'll see you all tomorrow morning. Bye for now.